Everybody, and welcome to another teacher talk session tonight. And tonight we are going to have our 212th session with another educator from different part of the world. And tonight we are having a founder and the CEO of Eduling, Dr. Linh Phung. When she comes, we are going to start our live session with her. Okay, I think she is here. Hello, Dr. Lin. So you can send me or let me. Okay, you just send me a request. Hello, Furkan. I'm waiting for the session now. It takes time. Hi. We just need to wait a little bit. It takes time. Yeah, I have accepted your request, Lin, but it takes time a little bit, so that's fine. Just a moment. I'll send you again. Yes, now accept my invitation and you will come. So, yes. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Can you see me and hear me?
Yes, I can see you. I can hear you. This is my first time live on Instagram. Will be
Really?
experience. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. It's great to hear this. So you are going to experience a new live session with us right now.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, by the way, before starting our live sessions, how do you want me to call you? Dr. Lean or just Lean?
Yeah, either way, you can just call me Lynn.
All right then. Okay, Lynn. So before starting our live sessions, I would like to say thank you very much. A huge thank you for accepting my invitation for Teacher Talks and being our guest tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I always appreciate the work from organizers like you to bring different voices to teachers.
Thank you very much. By the way, it's I think in afternoon time over there, but here in Turkey it's a night time, and there in the I think USA it's in the afternoon, like around 2 p.m. All right.
Yeah.
So I know that we, as an educators, we are all very busy and doing a lot of things, and maybe if you're ready, can we start?
Yes, let's
All right.
start.
So let's keep on. Okay, I know about you, Lynn, but maybe our audiences would like to know about you. So can you tell us about yourself, please, and a bit about your experiences too?
Yes, I'm happy to. And usually when I introduce myself, tell a long story of me coming from Vietnam. So I grew up in Vietnam, but then and then I went to college in Vietnam. And after a few years of teaching there, I got a scholarship to come to the U.S. to do my master's in teaching English as a second language at the Pennsylvania State University. And as I was doing my master's, I got the opportunity to also teach other international students English.
Wow.
And then another, I met my now husband, and I went back to Vietnam for a year, but then came back and got married. And then I found a full-time job in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the USA. If you know where Pittsburgh is,
Yes,
I
yeah, I
was
know. Hmm.
yeah, I was the director of the English language program for international students there for 11 years.
Wow.
But now anymore. Right now, I'm working fully for Eduling, an organization that I founded a few years ago.
I see. I know it. Thank you. And we are going to talk about it also. Don't worry. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Lynn. So, Lynn, my next question is, would you like to add anything else, or can I move to next question?
Yeah, you can ask the next
Okay.
question, and I'm
So, what? All right. What was or were your turning point or points in your own education?
Okay. Yeah, so I already told you some kind of milestones in my education in some way. Of course, going to college was a big deal. I specialized in English when I was in middle school and high school, and then I got the national prize in English. So I got to choose a
Wow,
college to, and I chose the College for Foreign Languages to be trained as a teacher. And then getting a scholarship to come to the US definitely was a big milestone. Honestly, at that time, I was very young, right? And sometimes I was not
I
even
see.
sure wanting to be a teacher. And sometimes I was not even sure about whether what I learned in the master's program would be applicable to my work later on. But then I remember something that my advisor told me. She said that just wait, and then you would see that the knowledge that you gain would be valuable. And the second thing that she told me is that just wait until you turn 30, then you would be more sure of yourself. And I still remember those things. So those are some milestones in my career for sure. Later on, getting a full-time job at Chatham University was a big deal. I was in charge of the program when I was pretty new to the US and new to the university
I see.
environment. But
Mm-hmm.
then and I could do it, and the program grew, and I was there for 11 years. Doing a doctorate while working full time was also a big milestone. So those are some of the few things that I can tell you in terms of milestone. Not really turning point, just kind of a continuous journey in a way, but those are some big moments in my career.
See, see. Thank you very much, Lynn, for sharing these milestones and points with us here. You know, it's really great to listening these things from from our guests. So because they all of them, they have different turning points about themselves, and it's really wonderful feeling, to listen them here from the first slide. Thank you very much. And Lynn, you've been teaching for a long time, and you mentioned it, and maybe you have taught a lot of students in your career so far, and probably during these years you have tried different techniques, methodologies, and strategies in your lessons, and probably you have a kind of a philosophy of teaching. So what is it? What is your philosophy of teaching?
Hmm. Okay, so I haven't really articulated my philosophy of teaching in a long essay or paper for a long time. Yeah, for a long time, and nobody asked anymore. But I would say that influenced me the most would be the things that I learned in graduate about second. The way I learned English in Vietnam was very different from the way I teach actually. So when I grew up in Vietnam learning English, it was about preparing for exam. It was about mastering English as a subject. But also because of my motivation, I always went above and beyond so that I could use the language. I could read
I
in the
see.
language. And then later on, going to graduate school and learning more about second language acquisition in terms of the importance of comprehensible input, the importance of opportunities to produce the language, the importance of interaction and corrective feedback in developing students' language or my own language. So those principles to me are the most influential
I
whenever I
see.
think about designing learning or when I think about teaching. Those are kind of guiding principles for me. So I hope that answers the question in terms of philosophy.
I see. Wonderful. Thank you for your answer. Thank you, Lynn. And Lynn, as an educators, we all have different stories in our the life. Sometimes we have bad stories, sometimes we have good stories, and sometimes we have failed ones, of course. And of course, we have some success stories. Can you tell us one, maybe two, if you would like to share with us success stories of yours? Especially, we want to listen to something inspirational for us.
Okay. Wow, thinking about stories, something that usually I remember the most is the things that people told me. When I started working at Chatham University, I was very passionate. I'm always a passionate person. I'm very direct. I'm very vocal, and I tended to be really result oriented. So I felt like if there was something that needed to be done, then I pushed for it. Maybe also kind of the young energy that I had. So my boss told me that I I was a fireball, a fireball. So that's remember. Also, early in my career, there were a lot of challenges. Like I say, being in a new program, having so many students from different parts of the world, and the program was growing fast. So, a lot of challenges. So, I had to learn to be kind and nice to students, but also being firm, right? Being strict and firm. So, I remember, and I took this as a compliment. I remember listening to students, some Saudi students, Saudi men, talking in front of my office, saying that she is small but dangerous. They told me small but dangerous. And like I said, I took it as a compliment in the sense that I could stand my ground and I knew what I was doing. And I perhaps got respect from students and teachers as well.
I see. Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing this lovely story and success story with us here, Lynn. You know, Lynn, teachers or educators, okay, we always want to be successful in the classroom. Always we want to achieve our goals or aims in the classroom, but but sometimes of course we fail, we don't know, but and then we think about it, and actually this is our aim to being successful in the classroom. So, as an experienced one, what do you think makes a teacher successful in the classroom?
Hmm. Okay, so I think that the teachers would agree with me that success to us is measured by how much our students learn, right? And I'm
Mhm.
sure that about joy and satisfaction in seeing students maybe give a really great speech or write a really great essay. So overall, I think that would be my measure of success, to see the students succeed. And I have mentioned this many times that sometimes I miss teaching, but the thing that I miss the most is when we wrote essays together, we read each other's work, and we felt together because we could communicate in English our meaning, our emotions, and then we felt together in the classroom through those meaning making activities. So again, the measure of would be the success of the students, and as language teachers, it's the things that they produce that give me
I
the most.
see. I got it. Thank you. Thank you very much, Lynn. Okay, so now let's move to the actually our my main questions I would like to ask you about something is really precious for you. I know that. I just before at the beginning of our session, I introduced you as a founder and CEO of Eduling. So what's Eduling? Can you tell us about it?
Yes. So I was, like I mentioned, I was working at Adam University as the director of the program there, because the program depended on international students. So there were a lot of ups and downs in terms of student enrollment. And at some point in the past few years, the number of students really declined, right?
Hmm.
And I needed something else to channel my energy. I always have a lot of ideas. I always have a lot of energy. So I founded Eduling with the idea of organizing online English classes for students from different countries, taught by
Wow.
me or taught by other teachers. Uh, and for me to implement the ideas that I had in my mind. Organizing classes was challenging actually because you need
Exactly.
kind of an influx of students. And one of my passions has always been organizing speaking opportunities for students. So when the pandemic happened, I organized a lot of virtual events for my own international students here, but students from all over the world. And also because of my training in task-based language teaching, then in 2022, I think I had this idea of creating a language learning app that could
I
connect
see.
students to talk while doing a game together or a task together. So that was the foundation of the Eduling Speak app as it is today. The app has courses for students to take. It is founded based on task-based language teaching,
I
and it now
see.
has for teachers also, teacher development courses. So I'll stop there and I can answer more questions if you have about it.
Okay. So my next question again is about the Eduling, but the what courses actually you just mentioned maybe one or two, but what courses do you provide and how can people contact you and how can people I mean like yeah contact you to join this Eduling courses?
Yeah. Like I mentioned, I have always been passionate about creating opportunities for national communication and cultural exchange. So the app focuses mostly on speaking. Another reason is that I also see that students from other countries like opportunities to speak. So the app started as an application to connect people to talk in pairs, but then later on, I also developed more input-based tasks, right? Tasks
Uh-huh.
that you can listen to something, or recording tasks. You answer questions by recording. And now with the advancement of AI, you can also complete a lot of tasks with the AI. And then with a lot of tasks on the platform, I put them together into courses. So for example, IELTS speaking, students can do one task at a time to prepare for the IELTS speaking exam or the TOEFL speaking exam.
Ah, I
People
see.
here can also take courses to prepare for the US citizenship interview. If you want to be a US citizen here, US citizen, you need to take an exam or an interview. So I have courses like that. For teachers, I have a course called Developing Communicative Tasks to help teachers to develop tasks for their classroom. How to gamify, to show them how to gamify activities or the whole course in the classroom. Pronunciation for teachers, I have another course like that. My daughter is calling me, but
Yeah, we can hear it. Nice, very nice.
yeah. So just one more. Okay, sorry. Hallie, come up. Hallie, I am in a meeting, Hallie. Sorry, I don't know how even to mute myself. Maybe I know. But anyway, if you want to try these courses, you can download Eduling Speak from the App Store or Play Store. So
I
if you
see.
it in the comment, the name of the app is Eduling Speak.
Eduling Speak. We can download the app. Okay. So, Lynn, the next, I mean, like, how long does one course take?
Mm, good question. So um, because it is on a mobile phone, sorry, maybe I'll be back.
Sure. You can mute it. There's a microphone over there. Oh, I see. Okay. This kind of things can happen. Okay. Waiting for her. Yes. So if you have any questions to ask Lynn, you can write them into the question part. There's a box at the bottom. As you see here, there's a kind of how you call it cloud. Yeah, you see your speech bubble over there inside the question mark. You can write your questions there, or you can write your questions here. I'll ask the question to her when she comes back. I'm waiting for her. Thank you very much, Echo Warrior Squad. Okay. Waiting.
Okay, I am back.
Wonderful.
She is home today, but she's going back to Thursday.
It's okay.
My
But we can't see you. If you can turn on your camera on.
I already turned on the camera also. I see myself. Maybe it takes time.
Oh, but we can't
Fine.
see you. Hello?
Okay, I'll be back. She's still okay. I think you still cannot see me. I can see myself though. The camera is on.
You see yourself, but we can't
Yeah.
see you.
Okay.
But
I
it's
don't know.
okay. I don't know also what's happening. Just let me click on you. Or maybe I can yeah.
Oh,
We can't see also. Just a moment. Maybe you can go and I can invite you again.
okay. Let me see. How do I go? Or I can click on the X, I guess. Okay. I can leave and you call me
Yeah,
again, right?
you leave and I'll invite you again. Okay, let me invite her again. Just a moment. Yes, there. Okay, I have invited. There we go. Yes, now wonderful. You're
Yeah.
back. Wonderful. Okay, so where were we? You were talking about the length of the courses.
So the course. So I can explain a little bit more the mobile app. Then everything on a mobile phone, and here is that everything somewhat short and sweet, right? So in terms of teacher development courses, if you take a course, it may just take you a week to finish it, or if it may take you 4 weeks to finish it. The longest course that I have there is IELTS speaking. It has 160 something tasks or activities. There are some video lessons, some audio lessons, some tasks with AI, or students can even talk with each other. And that is longer. I would imagine that if a student is motivated, they can finish it in 3 months, but they may take longer. So again, all of them are self-paced
I see.
and can be as short as, let's just say, a week of doing everything a day or a few weeks.
I got it. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I need to ask you these questions, but if you don't want to answer, it's up to you. So what about the prices?
Price, yeah. All because it's short and it's not really, you can pay as you go. So there are multiple courses there. The least or the lowest cost one is maybe about $5 or $6. The IELTS course, because it's really long and a lot of activities. And again, I can tell you about the technology development behind the scene as well, is
Of course.
35. So I would say from $5 to $35
I
to
see.
take a.
All right. Okay, it depends on the course. I see. I got it. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Lynn. And would you like to say another different things about Eduling, or if not, I can know another questions.
Yeah, let me see if you have other questions about it. I'm happy to answer. But basically, I love to work with teachers or any content creators who want to put their content on the app. So I'm also open to collaboration. I work with researchers who want to develop activities there to do research with their students. Or if you have an idea of creating a course, I'm happy to host it. Moving forward, we want to make it a platform to give teachers more tools so they
I
can create
see.
students, they create a class, and they can use our tasks to assign to students. Actually, that is the most successful implementation model so far. I didn't mention that we have an educator dashboard that allows you to create a class, use the tasks that we already have, assign them to students, and then maybe give them more feedback. That's how
I
I
see.
teach. Yeah.
I see. Thank you. Thank you very much for all this information, Lynn. By the way, there's a question, and Ali is asking that will we be able to see Dr. Feng in our beloved Turkey soon?
If I the good news is that I am open to more traveling. Like I mentioned, tomorrow I'm flying to Vietnam. So if there is a good reason, then I'm open to traveling as well. I'm thinking going to Mexico, but then I
Oh,
also told colleague that I need to feel that I have enough connections there before I go, so that I feel that the time is meaningful. So I'm open, is what I'm saying.
okay, great. So you would like to do that? Okay, I hope we can see you soon in our beloved country, Turkey. All right, thank you very much. So let's put another question, Lee. So by the way, let me repeat my question again. If you have any questions to Dr. Lin, you can ask her. And there's a question, the button actually, but how can I say, balloon you see here at the bottom of the screen. You can go there, write your questions, and I can divert your questions to her. All right. So let's move to another question. You know that you you move from Vietnam to the USA, and I'm sure that you have a chance to teach Vietnamese students, if I'm not wrong, in English. So when you think about them, what problems do you or the teachers face with teaching English to them?
Okay. Also a good question, and I'm sure when you teach Turkish students, ones knowing your students the most, and my advantage of teaching Vietnamese students is that I know Vietnam, right? I know Vietnamese, but I
Yeah,
also have been in the country for a long time. That sometimes I am always afraid of losing touch if I don't talk to people enough, if I don't investigate. So one thing that I noticed is that when I taught Vietnamese students, they are so busy. There's so much pressure on doing the schoolwork, doing extra
I
work,
see.
that is so competitive that sometimes it's really difficult to motivate students, not because they don't want to learn, but because they are so busy. So when I teach or taught online, usually I had to work with the parents very closely to inform them of the students' progress. These days, I don't teach so many online classes anymore, but sometimes teachers in Vietnam invite me to just teach a few classes to their students. So they manage the work on their end in terms of organizing the
Wonderful.
students, pushing them, and then basically mostly I just have to teach. So I have an easier job there. So I would say the challenge is the time pressure and the
I
stress
see.
I have.
I got it. Thank you. Thank you very much, Lean. All right. For teachers, there are different teachers that we can say that, or educators, because the some teachers, they prefer to use authentic materials, all right? for their classrooms, and some teachers they would like to use textbooks because everything is ready there, so that's why they want to use it. When you think about both of them as an experienced one, do you prefer using textbooks or authentic materials like emails, reports, case studies, stories, or something like that in language classes, and why?
Okay, that's a question because actually I've had a lot of experience with this. I actually materials development course, doctoral students twice, and
Wonderful.
material has always been my um. So textbooks have their own advantages in terms of already having the materials there for teachers. The materials are already structured. But I feel that teachers always have to be creative in terms of adapting the material so that they are relevant to their students and also bringing in more authentic materials. So in my experience teaching, usually I like creating my own materials. I ended up creating a course packet when I taught a grammar course. I used real essays, real stories to teach writing. But sometimes I also used textbooks when I found good ones. So, for example, when I taught reading courses at Chatham University, I used Reading Explorer from National Geographic. So I would say that a
Wonderful
combination,
book.
but always bring in more authentic materials. The reason is that there's so many of them, right? The second reason is that
Exactly.
these more potential to be interesting and engaging to students. Another suggestion I would have is using the materials that your own students produce. I always use stories and writings for my own students or for my past students. I use my own writing as well. So those, I think, have more potential to be interesting to students.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you very much, Lynn. Okay, so Lynn, we are very busy, especially educators. We are always busy. Sometimes, we complain about time. Always we complain about time because the 24 hours is not enough. Okay, if you have a 48 hours, that's also not enough. Probably we will say because we always want to do a lot of things and we cannot find a lot of time to do things. And but during the things that we are doing, we also would like to improve ourselves professionally. Okay, that's also really important for us, for educators. PD is really the key factor for us. And when you think about this, is it possible to develop professionally when you have a lot of work to do? Because we have a lot of things to do, and so what?
Mm. Well, yes, I agree. We are busy. And I feel not just because of teaching, but because of life, right? And I feel that the older we get, the busier we are. You can see that my daughter was,
Yeah.
so if you take care of relatives, then we are just busier and busier as we get older, I feel. But I think a professional development is a reward that we can give ourselves, not just a chore that we have to do, but I feel like it's something that gives you a sense of joy, satisfaction, because you're learning something new, whether it is a new idea, whether it is a new skill. So think of it as something that you enjoy doing. It is an investment in yourself. You don't have to do it all the time, but if you can find the time to do the things that you enjoy, then I think maybe we can think of professional development that way as well. I'm
I
sure that
see.
some would put pressure on you to have to do this and do that, and that adds more business to your schedule. But if you can find the joy in learning and improving your skills, then we can think of professional development that way.
I got it. Thank you. Thank you very much, Lynn. By the way, there is a question. Nasru is asking. You can see the question, I think, on the screen. What is the biggest challenge facing English language learners today, and how does Eduling Speak aim to solve it?
Yeah, okay, very
Hard
interesting.
question.
I know that there are so many challenges that one application cannot solve, right? If you think of, let's just say, the owl, the big owl in the room, the Duolingo app, it is so successful and everyone knows it, but you can see that it cannot solve all of the problems that students have either. Perhaps it is good for someone who wants to start learning a new language as a beginner, but think about your students in the classroom. There's so many goals that they want to achieve, and and that means that there needs to be a combination of resources. But something that I can tell you is that with Eduling Speak, I want to apply the principles of second language acquisition so that students
Okay.
don't waste time on something. So let's just say if students focus so much on doing grammatical exercises, if students focus so much on drilling, on imitation, that is a waste of time. That is not going to push them to be able to communicate internationally for real communication purposes. So what I'm trying to do with Eduling Speak is also to give students tasks and activities that can develop their true communicative competence.
I
Now
see.
I understand sometimes students or teachers want students to do exercise, then the app can also do those things to save you time. We can automate the things that are repetitive, but just
I see.
bear in mind some of those mechanical exercises are not very useful to develop communication skills. So I
Mhm.
hope that answers.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the answer, Lynn. So, Azra is asking, but before Azra's questions, I want to ask you another question, and then I'll divert to the Azra's question. You know, we are living in a technological area. So, the technology is something compulsory for all of us. We cannot escape from it. So it's everywhere, you know it. And also it's in education, we use it. So it's not easy for us to follow it, you know. Even if now we are talking, we are discussing things, a lot of things can happen in technology. So, my question is, how do you follow these technological improvements in education world? What can
Mm,
you suggest to us about it?
yeah. Um, I have to say that I work in technology development, that I know all technology. So these days, when I choose to do something, it has to be goal oriented, right? It has to help me solve some of the problems that I'm facing. But of course, I keep listening to webinars, watching webinars, reading new publications that are out there. I just read a publication, I think, from Cambridge about artificial intelligence in language education. It's very useful. So again, carving out the time to learn about new things as a reward, right? Because it's something you enjoy doing. So what I can say is that yes, I choose to learn about new technologies that can help me solve the problems that I'm working on. And at the same time, I still try to pay attention to learn new things that maybe I'm not aware of by reading articles, reading books, and watching presentations. When you're busy, perhaps watching presentations takes less time than reading a book, or if you're attending a workshop, someone uh, already put time into developing it and showing you how to do things that can save time. So I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, of course, Lynn. Thank you very much. Okay, now I can ask you the other question because it's about the AI. She's asking, what is your idea about artificial intelligence and its role as partner for learning English? Is positive or negative?
Yeah, okay, that's a good
Oh,
question. I just gave a presentation at the Edu 361 Expo that I think you were
yeah.
also participating in, and I'm giving that presentation again also. the point that I want to make is that yes, there are a lot of positive benefits for sure, and I focus more on tasks and AI chatbots. And when we look into AI, we can see a lot of limitations. So let's just say that students now can use ChatGPT or other chatbots to talk and to improve their English or to ask questions. But there's limitations. So for example, the AI chatbot may not remember what you have mentioned 10 turns before. So the conversation ends up being really boring because it doesn't really know you that much. Or usually it doesn't give you feedback. To learn a language, it may not give you corrective feedback. It doesn't know how to do a recast. It doesn't know how to maybe ask for clarification questions because it's too good at guessing what you want to say. And sometimes also the conversations are not natural. And if they are not natural, you never learn the kind of pragmatic competence that is needed to communicate with real people. So there are limitations, and that's why experts like us who know about language, who know about communication, who know about principles of second language learning have to work with it to improve it. And that is our goal with Eduling Speak, that when we want to design task-based interaction, we want to overcome those limitations so that the
I
AI
see.
can be useful. So I can give you an answer from what I am doing, but AI is such a broad topic these days that you can see a lot of benefits. But
Yes,
you as teachers, knowing pedagogical knowledge, knowing your students, knowing the context, are still the experts. The AI is not the expert. You are the expert, is
I
what I can
see.
say.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Lynn, for your answer. So we have another question here, and the question is, what is the most significant benefit of pairing learners together on the app?
Yes. Okay. Also a good question. Um, Again, I mentioned talking with AI has huge benefits, right? But at the end of the day, we want to prepare our students to talk with others. And here, mostly when I want students to talk in pair, I want to implement task-based language teaching. They talk in pairs not just for a free conversation, an open conversation. They talk in pairs so that they can complete a task together. Maybe they do a role play with some kind of information gap. Maybe they discuss so that they can make a decision together, or maybe they talk with each other to find differences between two pictures. That's a pedagogic
I
task.
see.
That they learn from producing language. They learn from comprehensible input from their partner. They learn from the kind of feedback that they often get when someone doesn't understand them. And
Mm-hmm.
that learning happens. So it
I see.
is most to create condition for language learning and also to allow students to practice. Now, something I can tell you, to be honest, is that that is a really unique feature of the app, but it's not easy to implement because scheduling students to talk together in not an easy task. And that's why maybe AI is the convenient solution.
Exactly. I totally agree. Thank you. Thank you, Lynn, for your answer for the question. Thank you very much. Okay, so Lynn, in our life, we all have role models, and we all always want to take uh, take role models as good people. We follow their path. Okay, so when you think about this, I'm sure you also have role model probably in your life, and maybe you want to tell us about it. Who is or your are your role model or models in your life, and who inspires you in your life?
Mm. Okay, well, interestingly, something that I think of famous role models. Of course, I love stories, love reading about them and listening to them, but I just like those famous people as role models. And also real life, I also feel like I don't say that I admire this person. I want to follow their path. I feel that that's not how I operate, but influence my life, or the stories that stick with me, the words that they tell me, right? The story about my boss that I mentioned, the story about my advisor that I mentioned. I have other kind of informal mentors that I go to that give me advice, and sometimes, most of the time, we don't have a formal mentor mentee relationship, but I go to them when I ask for advice, and I take some feedback from them. There's something that maybe I can mention. And sometimes I go to therapists, counselors. And so
Yeah,
I had a therapist, and she gave me a lot of advice that I could still remember. Something I heard on social media is that she told me success is not what you pursue. Success is the attraction that you create by the person that you become. So you don't pursue success, you
hmm,
attract just by being yourself. So
I
that's sometimes
see.
I heard it, and I feel like maybe it's true. I just have to be myself. I have to be authentic, and then I will meet people in my life that I find meaningful, that I admire for certain aspects. But my so unique that it's really difficult to think of someone to try to follow their
I see.
footsteps.
I see. Thank you very much, Lynn, for telling your role models idea about it. And Ali is telling that I do wonder her role models, but you have give a lot of ideas about it. Thank you.
A lot of
You know, the time flies, and we don't know what's gonna happen in the future, and we cannot guess. We just actually, we just the guess. This things can happen. This can happen, but actually, for real, we have no idea what's gonna happen. So when you think about this, how do you see yourself after maybe 10 or 15 years later? And will you still be a trainer, or will you still continue with your company Eduling, or will you try another job or jobs?
also a good question. I'm also different. That I don't think of myself who I will be in the future. Maybe it's both a good thing and a bad thing that I have this attitude of just do it is something that I have mentioned, that when I hear, then I just do it, and I'm really passionate about it. And I focus on getting things done. And maybe that's why I have got a lot of things done. But I don't have a vision of like what I want to be in 5 years. I need to be a millionaire. I need to be a teacher trainer. I just kind of focus on doing the work and see
I
where
see.
it takes.
Wonderful.
I,
Thank you very
I
much.
feel like I want to retire in 10 years.
It's great. Thank you. I hope I also want to retire as soon as possible, but I still have a lot of time. Okay, thank you. And so, Lane, you know that in our life we have a lot of difficult times we face, and sometimes we cannot handle or we cannot solve all the problems that we face. And when we face these problems, and if we cannot handle it or solve it, so we think on our own, oh, I wish I could have a kind of a superpower so I can easily fix it. So you think about a superpower. So how can I fix this problem? How can I handle this problem? When you think this, especially the superpower part, into the classroom, actually. So if you could have one superpower to use it in the classroom, what would it be and how would it help you?
Okay, this is also a difficult. I ne- I will never for it either. Um, all that I can think of now is that if there was a wish for power, and I was in the classroom with students, then I would want them to be in the classroom and be happy, because see so many sufferings out there, mentally, physically, so many challenges, so many hardships, that I would wish that the students would be in the classroom happy without those
Mm-hmm.
sufferings.
I
Uh,
see. That's the kind of wish that you have. Okay. So thank you very much about it. So think that we finish our interview, Lynn, and you go outside and find a lottery tickets that ends up winning $100 million. What would you do? But be honest, okay? Tell our
okay.
reality.
Yeah. Honestly, I would not know with $100 million, right? But I also have been thinking about work, and I feel that too for me as well, that we find satisfaction in our work when we have creativity, autonomy, and
Yeah,
impact.
I
And I
see.
feel in my work, I have creativity. I love creating and I enjoy it because of creativity. Now, autonomy, I think that 100 million would give me a lot of autonomy. I don't have to,
Exactly. Yeah.
I can make more decisions. So perhaps I can invest more in Eduling for sure. And I can invest more in other projects or things that I feel should happen. Then that will also give me the impact. So I think that that would be how I use the money, right?
I
Creativity, I
see.
feel like have, but maybe perhaps it can help me to. So a little bit selfish in terms of just thinking about my work, but that
No,
use the 100 million for.
that's of course you're gonna use it for your company too to invest some of them. Why not? That's your money. Okay, I wish you could have that money soon. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Don't forget me if you have that money soon.
Yeah,
All right.
sure,
Thank you very much. Okay, time flies, Lean, and now I'm going to ask you my last and the hardest question. Ready for it?
sure.
Okay. What is your motto?
Oh, my motto. Maybe I already mentioned it. So the two
Yeah,
things that I mentioned, just do it, right? When you have an idea, just do it. But where do ideas come from? Ideas come from knowledge, right? So I love ideas. Like when you listen to someone, when you read something, it sparks something in you. So maybe just do it is a good motto, but then you need to have the knowledge and ideas. And then the
I
other
see.
one that, and I already mentioned it, is you attract success by the person that you become, right?
I
So
see.
be unique in your own path. Don't compare yourself with others so much, and maybe that's when you find happiness.
I see. Thank you. Thank you very much, Lynn. Okay, so I ask all my questions, okay? So before ending our live sessions, would you like to add anything else, any suggestions, any advice to our listeners?
So I welcome connections with you. I am actually not as active on Instagram as on Facebook. So I also share what I learned there freely, generously. So if you want to connect with me there or follow me there, then I hope to do that with you. And again, keep being engaged. So maybe perhaps engagement is the last thing that I want to mention. My research is into learner engagement, and professionally, I feel that we learn by being engaged. Sometimes we don't know what we are learning, but when we start to be engaged in a community, then that is where opportunities happen, and that is where we learn. So that's
I
and I
see.
do visit Turkey sometimes for sure. I know that it's a beautiful country with beautiful culture, and I have heard a lot about it. I have had Turkish food here in the U.S., Turkish tea and desserts, and love those things.
Wonderful, wonderful to hear that, Lynn. Okay, so And before ending it, I would like to say thank you very much one more time for your advice, for your suggestions, and for especially for your precious time. You've spent your time here, almost an hour. You spent it. Thank you very much, Lee. Okay, so Dr. Lin Fung, did I pronounce correctly? Fung.
Yeah,
Okay,
fine.
good. Dr. Ling Fang was with us tonight with Teacher Talks 212, and we had a fruitful session with her. And as you know that we are going to be here next week at the same time on the same day every Monday at 9 p.m. Turkey's time. And until the next time, wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And please take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, Lean. And bye bye, everybody, and peace.
Yeah, thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.